Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're actually going to be testing out the new Nikkie Tutorials and Beauty Bay palette. So I literally got this in PR yesterday and I did swatches and I'm really impressed by the quality based on swatches. So I have no idea if this is just the PR box or if it comes like this when you order it. However, it looks like this. This is the box for it. It's really glittery. I don't know if that's going to pick up on camera. Then you've got this keyhole. I think it's meant to be like an open the door to my world type of vibe. So let's go ahead and open it up. So once you take it out of the box, this is what the packaging looks like. You have the two different sides. So you've got the bright kind of pastel side over here, and then you've got the darker smoky type of side over here. And this is what the palette looks like. So mine has been touched. Of course, I did swatches yesterday, but the shimmers in here are really kind of wet feeling, but they're really reflective and they have micro glitters, which I love. They are super pigmented as well. Just gonna swatch that there for you guys. You see like the reflection on that shimmer. All the shimmers in here are beautiful and they're all the same formula. So I'm gonna insert swatches of the palette here so you guys can see. So the first set of swatches is the light side of the palette, so the more pastel light shades, and then the second half are the darker, more smokier shades. But yeah, when you see them in the palette, they're actually not that deep and dark. You have like two brown neutrals, a dark purple, a dark blue, and then a teal green type of color. They're not super dark and smoky, but definitely darker than the pastels. So because we have two different sides of the palette, I think I'm going to do two different eyes. I'm going to do one side of the eye with the pastels, then I'm going to do the other side with the dark smoky colors. I'm going to start by priming my eyes with the ABH eye primer, as I always do, and I'm just going to pat that primer all over the lid. Also, complete side note, but I just wanted to say, I don't know why everyone's taking my Pat, well, not everyone, I'm being dramatic. Some people are taking my Pat McGrath review very negatively, and they're saying like, I only like drugstore makeup and I don't sound very excited and I don't sound like I like Pat McGrath and everything like that. And I was just like, what are you talking about, guys? I said I loved everything. The mascara, I love. The lip gloss, I love. I really loved everything, to be honest with you guys, and I can easily see them making their way into my everyday makeup routine. Just because I had one matte shade go a little bit patchy on my eyes doesn't mean I'm cancelling the whole brand and I hate Pat McGrath and I don't like luxury makeup. Like, that's just so not true. I know this is a complete side note, but I'm actually wearing her foundation right now. I've been using the concealer every single day since I did that testing video. I ordered another one of the under eye powder, but in a lighter shade. Like, I really like her products and I said that in the video, so I really don't get where everyone was getting this "you don't like Pat McGrath" vibe. I was just like, what? I literally said I love everything. And a little bit of shady comments as well, like how I don't know how to work with luxury makeup and I'm only used to cheap Revolution. I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where's all this shade come from? Calm down, sis. I'm just like, yeah, it was so unnecessary, especially because I gave glowing reviews for nearly everything else. Anyways, moving on. So I'm going to start with the light pastel side on this one. And even though I say pastel, I'm still going to go in with that bright red shade called Makai. But yeah, look at that pigmentation. I'm gonna try hold this mirror and see how user-friendly it is. But I find that when I'm using one mirror, I'm not gonna use the other one because I'm not gonna flip between the two. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna sit here and hold this side. But yeah, this red is really pigmented, blending out beautifully, and it is looking like a true red. It does blend out to be slightly pinky toned, but it is looking like a nice red. So what I'm gonna do is dip into Vla, I think it's called, which is the neon yellow. I'm really intrigued to see how this is gonna look on my skin tone. And I'm going to put that onto the inner corner, just because when I do yellow, I tend to go for deeper yellows just so that they really show up on my skin tone. Pastel yellows aren't really a vibe on my skin tone, but I mean, it's definitely showing up, of course, because of the base, but it's not my, like, it wouldn't be my first choice for a yellow. I wish it was a little bit, I know she was going for the pastel light side, but I wish it was a little bit deeper. But I don't hate it. It's definitely building up nicely. And then I think to blend out the red, I'm going to go into the shade Redemption, which is the orange shade, and just blend that up here and in between the red and the yellow as well. This is kind of why I'm not really a fan of pastel shades, because I always find that on my skin tone, they just don't have the pop or the pigment that I like. Gonna go back into that red shade called Makai and blend that into the orange a little bit more. I mean, the red is definitely standing out to me for pigmentation. Because it's not a pastel shade, it's definitely popping on my skin tone, but they are blending and applying really nicely. They're not skipping or patchy. It's a nice formula, just not the shades that I typically go for. So I think for the lid, I'm going to go into the shade Aura, which is this kind of rose gold orangey shade, and I'm going to take that on my finger because I do think the shimmers apply best with the finger. And I'm just going to tap that all over the lid. These are definitely so far the standout formula to me. Like, look at that shimmer, so glittery, so easy to apply. I'm glad that they've put loads of shimmers in here because this formula is beautiful. But yeah, don't get me wrong, if you love pastels, you will most likely love this side of the palette because they have a pastel yellow, pastel blue, kind of pastel pink and pastel orange. But if you're not into pastels like I am, this side of the palette can be used in conjunction with the other side to get a really solid look. So what I'm gonna do is take that Vla shade and also dab it onto my inner corner. So hopefully we get like a nice pop of yellow on the inner corner. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So I'm gonna move on to the darker side now, which is definitely a little bit more up my street. I'm gonna start by going into Slasher, which is a dark purple. And this shade is really pigmented. Really nice shade. It's actually coming out as a purple and not a black. I don't know if you guys, by the time this video is up, I'm not sure if you would have seen my testing new makeup video. This will probably go out before that actually, but I tested the new Fenty palette and that purple just went black as soon as it touched my lid. This is what I was hoping that Fenty palette would give me, like a real deep dark purple. This is beautiful. So I'm just dabbing that all into the crease and the outer V. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm going back to the pastel side and I'm going to take Blend and Snap, which is the bright pink, and I'm going to use this on the edges of the purple to blend it out. I know I'm meant to be sticking to the dark side, but I just want something to blend out the purple nicely, and there's nothing on the dark side that I think would blend out the purple. I was going to try the shade underneath it, this kind of camel tone, but pink and purple is really my vibe. And this pink's really pigmented. It's not super pastel, so it's showing up nicely on my skin tone. I don't worry about the edge because I always clean up after, but I just make sure the crease is blended together. Okay, so I'm taking my wet wipe and just cleaning up that edge so I can see what I'm working with. Okay, so that is more or less, oh, should I add a little bit of blue to the outer V? I think I might add a tiny bit just to deepen it. I just want this to deepen and darken that outer edge. Yeah, that's definitely giving me the vibe that I wanted. So even though there's no black in this palette, I definitely feel like adding this blue to this look is definitely giving me a deeper outer edge. These are layering and blending so well. So for the lid, I'm actually gonna go into the shade All In. Or should I take Pride? Oh, there's so many gorgeous shimmers in here. This is Pride. Oof. And then this is All In. Oh God. I think I want to take All In. There's something about this duochrome shade that's really calling me. So I'm going to go into All In and I'm just going to, oh my God, these shimmers are out of this world. I am obsessed with this shimmer formula. Look at that glittery duochrome beautifulness. I'm actually going to take a small dab of that onto a brush just because I want the crease to be slightly diffused, not really cut creasy. Just gonna dab that so it kind of diffuses a little bit of glitter a little bit into the crease. Then taking a small dab of Amsterdam, the blue, blending it into, actually I'm gonna go into the purple Slasher and blend that into the shimmer. Maybe even a little bit of the pink. Yeah, an absolute dream to work with. Dream palette, outstanding. We'll get to my thoughts, but wow. So I'm going to take a little bit of that Pride shade, which was the pinky purple with blue reflex, and that's going right on the inner corner. Wow, applies lovely with a pencil brush as well. Little bit of glitter fallout underneath my eyes from the shimmer shades. Not so much this side because I used my finger, but this side when I used the brush did fall out. But for me, that's fine because I do my underneath eye, my concealer after eyeshadow. Me being the person that I am, I still want to add a deeper color on this outer V, like a small dab of that purple right there to deepen it, but I'm not going to because this is meant to be the light, airy, fairy side. But I live for a dark outer V. Okay, so that is the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, probably do my lower lash line with the same colors, and then I'll come back to you with my final thoughts. Okay guys, now I'm back. So here we have the final looks. What do you think? I really love them. Like, before we get into my thoughts about the palette, really love the eye looks, and I'm also going to tell you what I finished up my face with. But even the pastel side, now that I've cleaned up the edge and, you know, put my lashes on, I feel like it's really brought the look together. So to finish up my face, I went in with, I'm just going to tell you quick details. I used the McGrath concealer. I set with the Mercier translucent powder, set my face with the McGrath under eye powder. I like using this all over my face because it's the shade Deep, so it's too dark for underneath my eyes, but all over my face this is beautiful. Bronzer, Charlotte Tilbury. Blusher is this one from Superdrug, and it's called Bittersweet. I have no idea if they do this anymore, but it's a gorgeous orangey blusher. Then for highlight today, I went in with the Ofra X Nikkie Tutorials highlighter in Glow Goals. How stunning is that? Then for lips, I went in with the Sleek Lip Dose, which is like a lipstick in a pen form, and this is like a dark brown, so I used it to line my lips. Then I went in with the Juvias Place lipstick in the shade Lady, which is this gorgeous kind of nude, and then I topped it with a clear gloss. And yeah, that is everything on my face today, guys. So my thoughts on this palette, if you can't tell already, I love it. I'm not quite sure how much it is, but I think it is worth it. If you like Nikkie Tutorials, you like the shade selection, the quality is definitely there, as you guys can see from my eyes. Standout product to me is definitely the shimmers in the palette, the glitteriness, the pigmentation. Like, the formula of these glitters is just insane. The mattes blend beautifully, decent pigmentation. So I would say grab it, guys. Knowing Beauty Bay, this is going to be relatively affordable. I think their collaboration with Mitchell is £30, so I'm assuming this one's going to be around the same price. Yeah, like I said, if you like the shade selection, grab it. I'm not really a fan of pastels on myself, but I feel like because I have the option to mix it into the darker shades, I'm gonna love it, just like I did with this. Mix the pastel pink in with the dark purple to get a gorgeous look. So yeah, I really recommend this palette, guys, based on the looks that I've done today. Really happy with the quality. So well done, Nikkie. And Beauty Bay, of course. I'm so glad that this one is a success. I didn't get her first collaboration, but I know what it's like to put your whole trust into a brand to come through on formula, do you know what I mean? But for the brand to let her down like that, it's sad, you know? But Beauty Bay came through for her. This palette is great quality, and I am so impressed. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'm hoping you guys will see this video before it sells out, and you can make a decision if you want to grab it or not. That is it from me, guys. I'm gonna go now. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care. Bye.